I can't imagine there's many people that think Dillon Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. And if the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
I've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dillon Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I'd be surprised. I just don't think.
Well, then it is a wasted pick because you took him in the top 100.
Yeah, but potentially, may get away with it because of Shedeur.
Shedeur Sanders just flipped Cleveland upside down. This man really made it his city overnight. And guess what? It's not big enough for two quarterbacks.
Whether good or bad, if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan or if I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan and or both, this is probably one of the evaluators that I would like to hear from, all right? And I'm talking about a guy that was with the Niners, Redskins, Seahawks, some of the draft picks him and John Snyder put together, which is where a guy like Scott McLaughlin, all right, would have really been involved, would have been a late-round draft pick.
Dillon Gabriel got so fired up trying to snatch Shedeur's spotlight that he ended up catching the worst kind of flag. Suspension, benched, gone, just like that. The locker room's buzzing, fans are speculating, and Shedeur's out here strutting through the facility like he owns the team bus, the parking lot, and probably the Wi-Fi password too. But hold on, this ain't your usual quarterback rivalry. This is pure chaos wrapped in shoulder pads. Imagine a script written by Aaron Sorkin and Vince McMahon after one too many drinks. That's how wild this Cleveland saga is. Somehow, a fifth-round pick named Shedeur Sanders just set off a full-blown civil war inside the Browns organization. The tension's thick enough to cut with a helmet visor. And Dillon Gabriel, oh man, he really chose the wrong week to lose his cool. What started as friendly competition turned into a career-crashing meltdown.
When you look at the Cleveland Browns quarterback room, and the two rookies is already there. That's Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. They said it's a competition and looks like Dillon Gabriel is ahead of Shedeur. Let me tell you something. I don't care what a Cleveland beat writer says about Dillon Gabriel is more head of Shedeur for his head and shoulder. Man, I'm not buying that. Shedeur Sanders is a legit, big-time franchise quarterback.
It kicked off like any normal training camp story. Some cheerful interviews, fake smiles for the cameras, and two rookies acting like they weren't secretly plotting to end each other's shot at the spotlight. But deep down, everyone could feel it. This was about to blow up. And please subscribe my channel. It helps more than you think. That peace treaty between Shedeur and Dillon, it lasted all of 11 minutes. Shedeur didn't just show up, he took over. With an arm like a rocket launcher and the confidence of a man already designing his own statue, he lit up the Browns' defense like it was a backyard scrimmage for out-of-shape office dudes.
You're coming in here as the third-round pick. Shedeur's coming in as the fifth-round pick, yet he brings a lot of the social media and the entourage and the hype and all the hoopla and all that kind of stuff. So what is your sort of mindset or approach to that whole notion of that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, life of simplicity is a life full of, focus. Life of, complexity comes with life of distractions, but for me, I'm focused. I'm simple. I know what I want to accomplish.
Every throw was a highlight reel. Every snap a warning shot. This wasn't a tryout, it was a takeover. And poor Dillon, man looked like his brain was buffering on dial-up. Shedeur wasn't tossing passes. He was launching reasons for the coaches to rewrite that depth chart ASAP. One random day, he ran with the third-string squad and made the starting defense look like props in his personal promo video. 17 completions, 3 touchdowns, and a locker room meltdown that had people checking the walls for hidden cameras.
Let's just think positive, man.
Definitely think positive. I don't want to see it because you know what comes with it. I guess the second piece, to no one's surprise, reportedly Shedeur Sanders is tearing it up at Browns camp. Looked like the best quarterback out there. They said Dillon Gabriel looks lost in the headlights, which I'm not sure who is shocked by this. Anybody that watched college football over the last how long did Dillon Gabriel play? Like 6 years, 7?
The offensive coordinator didn't even wait for another whistle. Boom! Shedeur got bumped up to first team right there on the spot. That move cracked Gabriel like an iPhone face down on concrete. Pads came off, Tempers flared, and he stormed off the field like someone just insulted his whole bloodline. You know that walk? The tight jaw, clenched fists, mentally drafting a 3-paragraph text to his agent. Behind the scenes, chaos exploded. Receivers whispering, linemen rolling eyes, and coaches suddenly remembering they had errands to run.
Browns Foundation golf outing head coach Kevin Stefanski asked about his rookie quarterbacks Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, those guys are doing great. They are both wired to get in early, stay late, put in whatever work is required. They're sponges in the meeting room, which I think is really fun for me. In my vantage point, I get to sit there and watch the two young guys look over, and there's Joe.
Gabriel disappeared into the facility like he'd been snatched by Netflix for a new docuseries, The Vanishing of QB2. But that was just the appetizer. Word is, Gabriel's been slipping for weeks, skipping optional workouts, ducking meetings, ghosting teammates like a bad dating app story. Sure, his body showed up to practice, but his mind? That man was mentally on a beach somewhere, watching his starting spot vanish into the ocean. He's even tracking how coaches talk to Shedeur, counting reps, logging compliments, building a full-on emotional spreadsheet titled Reasons They Don't Rock With Me. One insider spilled that Gabriel's been sending every little thing to his agent, like he's building a legal case instead of a highlight reel. Forget studying game film. This man's studying the drama. He's watching his own downfall play out like a daytime soap, episode after episode. The staff's alarmed, not because Shedeur's balling out, they love that, but because Gabriel's unraveling faster than a discount sweater in a washing machine.
Did one of the two look better to you in what they were asked to do than the other?
In just throwing the ball, it's not close, Shedeur Sanders.
It's not close.
But let me couch that by saying this is rookie minicamp.
Sure.
No pads, no full speed competition. Nobody coming to knock your head off.
It's telling. They're side by side, and they're not asked to do much, but they're both asked to do the same thing, and that one of them looked discernibly better than the other. I didn't know that we would get that out of this minicamp.
We're standing here, Jay. They're on the field. They break the huddle from team stretch, and they go both pick up the ball.
Now the talk's about bringing in sports therapists, emotional support counselors, even trust-building retreats. But apparently, nobody wants to share a tent with the guy who rage quit mid-practice. Meanwhile, Shedeur's just floating through the madness like he's got AirPods and blasting smooth jazz. Cool, calm, collected, showing up first, leaving last, devouring the playbook for breakfast, and somehow still finding time to mentor rookies while his rival mentally crumbles. It's wild. The locker room's split clean down the middle. Gabriel's clinging to a small crew of linemen who still remember when he used to be that guy.
So far in this, if you were making a football game with camp actually being the fourth quarter, we 3 quarters into the process, and he has shown who he is, and that is the best quarterback that they have on the roster. And I'm including Flacco when I say that, not just the rookies he's competing against, or a second-year guy or some guy, that's in the field house cutting grass or something. This dude has proven he is who he was at Jackson State, who he was at Colorado, and who he is in the NFL.
Even the defense, normally neutral territory, is starting to whisper that Shedeur's reads are scarier than any blitz they've thrown. That says a lot. And now the national media, they've smelled the story like bloodhounds at a barbecue. Shedeur's social media numbers are skyrocketing. His engagement's 37 times higher than Gabriel's. He posts one perfect throw and it's viral in seconds. Gabriel drops a Bible verse and gets 3 likes, 1 from his aunt and 2 bots. Cleveland's gone, Sanders crazy. Ticket sales are spiking, local shops are pushing Shedeur smoothies, and someone even suggested throwing a Sanders Saturday block party.
Shedeur is 6'2", historically accurate, and I have seen him standing around normal-sized people. He's big. He's a big 6'2". Mahomes is 6'1.5". Aaron Rodgers, you never think about his size. He's 6'1", big calves, big wrists. 6'3", Matt Stafford. 6'4", Jared Goff. 6'6", Joe Flacco. Eli was 6'5". Peyton was 6'5.5" or whatever he was. Dillon Gabriel is noticeably smaller and thinner than Bo Nix. And Bo Nix is not ideal size in the NFL. He is a very, very small guy. Shedeur Sanders, he's much bigger and much better.
Ownership? They're not hiding it either. Execs are reportedly ready to fast-track the kids straight to the spotlight. Cleveland's already rolling out the red carpet for Shedeur. His face is plastered across billboards, buses, and half of Ohio like he's running for mayor. Meanwhile, Gabriel, he's practically in witness protection. The energy in the city is electric, but the pressure? It's suffocating. Gabriel's still technically getting support, but his leash is shorter than a toddler's at Disneyland. Around the league, general managers are peeking over the fence like nosy neighbors. Phones are ringing, and quiet trade feelers are starting to fly. Because when you draft a third-round quarterback, promise him the future, and then watch him get body slammed by a fifth-rounder with N.F.L. DNA and designer shades indoors, oh yeah, people notice. This isn't just a quarterback competition anymore. It's a full-blown identity crisis. Cleveland built their whole next chapter around Gabriel, the wholesome, humble face of the franchise. Now he's out here side-eyeing teammates and practicing his 1,000-yard stare like he's auditioning for a sports drama. The QB room might as well have a reality TV confessional booth at this point. Cameras, tears, and all.
It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. And it's Dillon Gabriel's now with the Browns. They got Shedeur Sanders. It sounds like Pickett is the leading guy right now for that quarterback room in Cleveland. So he's not with Oregon anymore.
The Browns tried to manage the meltdown, bringing in leadership councils, veteran babysitters, practice tweaks, even meditation circles. But let's be real. They might need a shaman, a therapist, and a bouncer at this rate. Because you can't coach your way out of an emotional implosion. And yeah, Cleveland's buzzing harder than it has in years. Not since Baker Mayfield first threw a decent spiral. But buzz is a dangerous drug. If they push the Shedeur hype train too fast, it could derail the whole operation. But if they slow down to protect Gabriel's fragile confidence, they risk missing out on the kind of raw, untamed talent that actually wins rings.
Flacco, looking at Kenny Pickett, and looking at Dillon Gabriel. This quarterback competition is not even close. I don't care what nobody say from the inside of the building. Them teammates know. They know Shedeur Sanders is way ahead of Dillon Gabriel for as performing wise. Can you throw that football to an open receiver? That's the question. When you see a defense coming at you, can you stand up in that pocket and deliver that ball to an open receiver without flinching?
So now the Browns are stuck in a brutal dilemma. Do they ride the hot hand and let Gabriel pout his way onto the inactive list? Or do they slow play it, hoping Shedeur doesn't realize he's already the better quarterback? It's a high-stakes gamble either way. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, the fight did happen. Full pads, real words, real chaos. Tempers exploded, coaches sprinted in, and helmets went flying like frisbees. When the dust settled, Gabriel caught a suspension so fast, it might have come with a spin move. The team called it internal discipline, but let's be honest, that's just PR speak for we know the cameras were rolling. Either way, it worked. Now the Browns are facing the biggest preseason decision they've had in years. Two young quarterbacks, both under 25, both drafted just months ago. Yet their paths couldn't look more different. One's fading fast into obscurity, while the other's already being photoshopped into future Super Bowl parades. The vibes, immaculate on one side, radioactive on the other. The coaching staff, straight up DEFCON 1. Practice plans tossed, playbooks torched, like another Browns jersey burning in the streets back in 2016.
Yeah, I think you got to take this thing like in pieces, like you do a football game. You get a series, you get a quarter, you get a half, you get a game. And you got to win the series, you got to win the quarter, you got to win the half, and you got to do it again. So if we look at everything and parcel it out, he clearly was the best performer in rookie minicamp. Then you go to OTAs, which are not mandatory, but of course he was there, organized team activities. He clearly came out of OTAs with the best numbers. And now we're in the second day of mandatory minicamp, and he's clearly got the best numbers.
They're in full crisis mode now, building practice sessions that keep Shedeur and Gabriel from even making eye contact. It's like divorced parents trying to survive their kids' little league game without throwing shade across the bleachers. They even flew in team building experts. Yep, flown in. Because apparently, nothing fixes QB beef like sitting in a circle, holding hands, and talking about feelings while your entire season balances on a mental cliff. And if you thought that sounded wild, it gets even crazier. Full-blown interventions. Not the metaphorical kind either. PowerPoint slides, emotional check-ins, maybe even a box of tissues parked right at the 50-yard line. Meanwhile, the playbook's being rewritten in real time for Shedeur. Not adjusted, not tweaked, completely custom-made like a designer suit stitched out of touchdowns and swagger. Blitz reads built around his rhythm, rollouts crafted to match his stride, protections reshaped so clean he's gliding through the pocket like the Pope in motion. It's a full-on fast-track plan stitched together with caffeine, adrenaline, and a prayer to whatever football gods still have mercy on Cleveland. And trust, the front office knows they're sitting on a media grenade, so they slammed the door shut. No interviews, no leaks, no sneak peeks. Shedeur's basically being stashed in a top-secret bunker, while Gabriel's out here spiraling like a rejected Bachelor contestant trying to win back a rose that's already been given away. For real, this isn't just a quarterback battle anymore. This is emotional warfare for Dillon Gabriel. It's not even about losing a spot on the depth chart. It's about losing himself. The man didn't just want to be QB1. He needed it. That was his whole story, his whole identity, his made-for-TV journey. And now, every time Shedeur fires off another laser-perfect throw, Gabriel's not just getting outplayed, he's getting erased. You can feel it. The guy once called the future now looks like he's watching someone else live out his prophecy, wearing his jersey. Meanwhile, Shedeur, ice cold, cool as a cucumber in an ice bath. He's showing up early, leaving late, smiling through the noise, and still dapping up teammates like he runs the building. He's even offering Gabriel pointers, asking if he wants to run routes after practice. And Gabriel just stands there, staring at the turf like it owes him rent money.
If I'm the coach, I would say the same thing, because he's a young player. We don't want the media talking about a QB issue and a QB battle with two young players. He will probably have the most trade value because, like I said, you want them to play well in the preseason so they can increase that trade value and they can have somewhere to go to, and you have some takers out there. If somebody out there sees Dillon Gabriel playing great in the preseason and their quarterback has been playing trash, and now they see that Shedeur is going to be the starter in Cleveland, I would offer some for Dillon Gabriel, 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick.
While Gabriel's busy building emotional walls, Shedeur's over here drawing blueprints for bridges. He's not just throwing passes, he's uniting a locker room. Because at this point, it's bigger than who throws the prettiest spiral in July. This is about the soul of the team. Do the Browns hand the crown to the guy who's already winning hearts and huddles, or drag their feet protecting the one they used to believe in, even as his future crumbles right in front of them? Here's the nightmare scenario, and it's real ugly. If the Browns mess this up, they don't just lose one quarterback, they lose both. Gabriel mentally checks out, Shedeur gets frustrated or overworked, and the whole locker room shatters like a breakup nobody saw coming. That shiny new culture the team's been hyping up, gone in a puff of smoke. Suddenly, the Browns are right back to being, well, the Browns. And just when it couldn't get messier, ownership dives straight into the chaos, waving floaties made of pure cash. Word around the league is the business side loves Shedeur, like obsessed. The marketing team's already cooking up jersey drops, merch lines, and viral campaigns. The man's becoming a walking franchise. He's got endorsement deals waiting in the wings and fan bases in other cities asking how Cleveland landed him in the 5th round. Other teams are circling like buzzards in polos, waiting to see if Cleveland panics or plays it smart. So now the question hangs heavy. Is this the dawn of a new golden era for the Browns, or just another tragic chapter in their endless saga of chaos, hype, and heartbreak? Because one wrong move, and boom, they're right back in the basement again. But it's not just the locker room watching. The entire league is clocking every step. Veterans are side-eyeing management, wondering what performance really means. Rookies are studying who the franchise actually stands behind. And up top, the front office is spinning faster than a TikTok dance challenge. Power plays, politics, whispers, all of it. If Cleveland gets this wrong, they don't just risk breaking Gabriel. They risk fracturing the whole operation, the locker room, the coaching staff, the trust, the identity. But if they get it right, they might have just found the quarterback of their future, a guy who wasn't supposed to be the headline, but somehow became the whole story. So buckle up, Browns fans, because that quarterback room isn't just heating up, it's on fire. What's happening right now is more than football. It's a live-action morality play. Ambition versus expectation. Poise versus pressure. Shedeur versus the script. And when the smoke clears, there are only two endings. Rise or rupture. Place your bets. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and see you on the next one.